How many times have you, and maybe you, how many times have you watched these budget build videos? I've watched a few, well, more than a few. I've watched a lot, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know whose budget they're basing this on, because it sure as shit is not my budget. Maybe your budget, not my budget. And with today's economy being what it is, inflation, whatever, blah, 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 I don't think it's a lot of people's budget, which in turn discourages people from building something that they want, or, have some kind of a project. Too much idle time is bad for you. It makes you watch the news, and Lord knows that's not good these days. So what if I were to tell you that I have built a little S10, vehicle included, for under $2,000? You tell me I'm full of shit? But I did it, and I'm going to show you how I did it. Now, it's not 100% done. It is running. It is driving. Runs great. A few minor things I need to do to it. A fuel cell. I want to ditch the stock tank. That's my personal preference. So I want to change the seats in it. It's got a fugly bench seat in it that's disgusting and ugly. And just the other minor things here and there. And I do plan on putting boost on it at some point, but not today. So let's jump into how this little truck came to be. So it kind of all started with this raggedy ass Fox body that I had. And it was way more work than I felt like getting into. I should have looked at it better when I got it, but I didn't, so that's on me. So a guy I know had this little S10, and he wanted this Fox body, so there you go. It's an 88 little S10. It was a base model truck, and when I say base model, I mean crank windows, manual steering, manual brakes. Somebody had had a small block in it one time before, but when I got it, it was a roller. No rust in the truck at all. Real straight. The interior is a little funky. Well, the seat's funky. It doesn't have any carpet and shit in it. But then I found a hideous motorhome. Guy didn't want a thing for it. He wanted it out of his yard. The thing had like 60,000 miles on it. Small block, 350, full bolt main, factory 4-barrel, turbo 400 transmission. I jerked it out of the yard. I did get it running before I pulled the motor just to make sure it was straight. Thing runs like a top. Yanked it out, and we'll go from there. Guy about 2 hours away from me had a set of these headers, brand new, still in the box. He also had these adapters, or engine mounts, brand new, still in the box, and also had this intake, which is the Edelbrock TM1 Tarantula intake, which they don't even make anymore. Obviously, that's used. I paid $100 for the headers, $25 for the mounts, and I did give them $150 for the intake. But like I said, it's kind of rare. You don't see them much anymore. They were all the rave back in the day, and it was in real good shape. They had no corrosion on it like you normally see. So I found a set of double hump heads, the old style cast double hump heads. Somebody had already put the screw and rocker studs in them, had guide plates, and had 202 160 valves in them. I did a little wheeling and dealing with them, traded some labor off, worked on the guy's Nova. If I had to put a cash price on it, probably, I don't know, $300-400. So what do we got so far? I had $1,000 in the Fox body, so I rolled over to the truck. So it's $1,000 in the truck, and $100 for the headers, $150 for the intake, $25 for the mounts. And that's where we're at so far. Plus the labor for the heads, which it is what it is. Sometimes you just got to wheel and deal to find the right thing. So I also found a Comp Cam's Extreme Energy Cam with lifters and a timing set, all brand new in the box, never been used. Marketplace, I think I paid $120 for them. I got a 2800 stock converter made by B&M. I found it for $100 on Marketplace. Just other odds and ends stuff, oil pump, water pump, odds and ends, gasket set. I did put head studs in it, but they weren't that much. I think they were like under $100 on Amazon. Plug wires came from Amazon. The fuel pump came from Amazon, which is 10 psi, 72 gallon per hour pump with a Evil Energy pre-filter and a return style post filter. That way I didn't have to run a regulator on it. The carburetor I got off a buddy of mine needed rebuilt. It had been sitting on the shelf forever. Rebuild kit's like $60. That's about the gist of it, of what I've got in this motor, which, well, let me take that back. what I have in the entire thing, which was $1,795. Now, that's running. I did all the labor on it, obviously, and it wasn't easy because I suck and I don't have any friends. So I literally put this thing together in my backyard. The engine engine and transmission were hanging from the hoist because, hoists don't like rolling in the dirt. I pulled the front clip off the truck and rolled the truck to the goddamn engine. It was not fun, but I did it. I've always been that way. I work better by myself, and like I said, I suck and don't have any friends. That's the way it goes. Site being what it is, I wish that I had filmed more the process of putting this thing together, but again, I was by myself, which makes it just a wee bit harder. I really wanted to make this video because I feel like there's a lot of people that probably get discouraged from even attempting to put something together. It doesn't even have to be a vehicle, a motorcycle, a boat, go-kart, whatever, fucking shopping cart, doesn't matter. But I think people get discouraged because they see a lot of these quote-unquote budget build videos or just put it together with spare parts videos, and they're like, well, I ain't got that shit on my shelf and I ain't got that money in my pocket. Neither did I. This is exactly why I did what I did. And, not a lot of cash came out of pocket. I did a lot of wheeling and dealing for stuff, and was it a pain in the ass? Absolutely. Did I have to drive all over God's creation to get parts? Yep. But that's what you got to do if you just don't have the means. You know what I'm saying? So it's not doable. It's very doable. It's go out and have a father-son project. Get them the hell away from, I don't know, whatever the hell kids are doing these days on social media. I don't even think they know. Now, let's be realistic about things. You're not going to take and build a $2,000 vehicle and expect to go win small tire with it. That's not going to happen. Sorry. You might be able to pull off a few street races with it. You might run some hard tire shit with it. You can bracket it, but yeah, the hard tire guys now, they're running $200,000 race cars, and that's not budget friendly. That's not the point. The point is to get yourself up, get the hell out of the house. Do something. I'm sure your lady wants you out of the house anyway. So, take your kid outside, teach them how to change a goddamn tire. You wouldn't believe how many people that live around me that are clueless. I have a neighbor. They were trying to pump up a tire with a bicycle pump. I ain't bullshitting. I can't make that shit up. It happens. But, it is what it is. Because they don't know no better. Because nobody taught them any better. Things you can still find for cheap. They're hard to find, and you might have to travel for it. Like in this state, I live in Virginia, nothing is cheap here. You very rarely find a cheap vehicle that's worth a damn. I mean, it might be rusted to the ground with trees growing through it and still charge you $1,000 for some dumb shit. But it's just the way it is. You might have to travel out of state. Don't go to northern states because you probably come back with something that looks a lot like Swiss cheese. But it is what it is. The point is, you can do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't mind, give a like, subscribe. That would be fantastic. I'm trying to get this thing off the ground a little bit. If you got any comments, leave a comment. And I do not want to hear about any LS bullshit. I don't want to hear, well, I know this guy did this if he jerked off a cow for an LS. I don't give a damn. You will not put one together for cheaper than that. I promise you. Look at it this way. If you get an LS, I'm not saying they're bad motors. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying they don't make good power, because they do. However, a carbureted intake for an LS is $300 or $400 or $500, I think. Then you have to buy the crank trigger setup for the ignition, and depending on what transmission you use, if you're using a 4L80 or 4L60, you got to have a standalone trans ECU for that, and it's just more headache than you want to deal with. You could use a harness out of your donor vehicle or whatever else, but that's a lot of swapping and chopping. You still got to get the ECM reflashed to get rid of the immobilizer and whatever else, and it's a lot of headache. And from past experiences, when you get a big headache, you walk away from it and don't think with it no more. You see them all the time online for sale. Oh yeah, the motor's in there, it's ready to run, you just got to hook up everything because it's LS swap. No, don't worry about that. I don't want to hear that shit. Matter of fact, I think my friend Elon Musk says it best.
Go fuck yourself.
Thank you, Elon. Couldn't have said it better myself. Anyway, so in closing, get the hell out of the house, go find a vehicle, put it together, start doing something, start saving some of these cars that are just sitting around. Some things are getting harder and harder to to find for cheap nowadays is because they're either crushed or, you know, somebody went and paid some astronomical amount of money for them because it's, you know, whatever. Anyway, don't watch Barrett Jackson. Go find you a piece of shit, throw it together, let it be your piece of shit. You know, here's a clip of my little trick running, just in case you may want to hear it and to know I'm not completely full of shit. There you go, guys. Like I said, if you don't mind, throw a like, possibly subscribe. Don't cost you nothing. And I'm going to make some more videos with this truck here very shortly. Y'all be cool. Be true to yourself.